pretty good at big lead. Okay, so maybe about 12, maybe not 15, depending on how good he is. Say about 12 feet. Okay, so same thing, we're out here. Okay, so the difference now, okay, is once he raises his leg and we're not stealing, okay, it's a hop back. Okay, so it's here, we're leaning, okay, and now when he goes, then we can go under our shuffle. Okay? You're never going to get caught with a really, really good move if you do that, because once a lefty sees this, okay, he's probably not going to pick, and even if he does, we're closer to the base. That makes sense. Now, if we're stealing, obviously, right when he goes, okay, we're going. Right when he first movement, okay, that's how you steal on lefty. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so, get out here, 12 to 15, probably around 12, okay? Back. Okay, see, make sure you commit to the plate. Once you see he commits to the plate, then we can go into our secondary.
What brought you into Premier Baseball Academy?
So I had no ambitions to do anything different. The Capitals have been my baby for 12 years, and I sat down with Matt Meyer, and I was just wanting to kind of discuss with him to see how he could help my guys with recruiting and showcasing them, and one thing led to another, and here I am. So I really got intrigued with their training and all the data that they use to develop their athletes, and and all the stuff that they were doing to get their kids to the next level. And I fell in love with it, and things worked out, and here I am.
Yeah, so last year was my first year here. I was a 14U coach with Matt, and then I took over the recruiting. Our 18s, 17s. We had 2 17s last year in 18, and 16 and 2 14. So we didn't have a 15 last year, but yeah, so pretty much all the high school recruiting.
How when you're catching that, you're here, and then you're going up and then catching it, you want to meet it. So you want to be here, and then trust your hands to actually go up and meet it. Because right now you're like going up and then catching it. Try to work it in one motion. So just trust your hand to follow with your eyes, know where it's going to go, and just meet it in one motion when you go up to it.
Okay. The ball. Give it another round.
Well, really, the goals are the same. Honestly, my goal has always been about the kids, and for younger kids, for me, it's to get them to the high school level. Try to prepare them to play high school baseball, and of course, our high school kids, of course, prepare them to try to play college baseball. We at Premier, we want kids that want to play college baseball. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for in an athlete. We want guys that want to go on to play college baseball, and we're going to provide the opportunity for that.
So as a coach, just like as a teacher, I think great teachers are great coaches make great teachers, because we're never
John Wooden.
Exactly. We're never satisfied with status quo. We're always looking for something else. And we don't have to think of anything. There's so many different philosophies and things out there, and PBA just opens up that gate for more opportunity for growth. So a perfect example is that I've never been part of a coach's development program. In PBA, we meet once a month, because the best way to learn from each other, I've learned through being in education, is from each other. We don't have to necessarily go from seminars. It's people that come from different areas and playing experiences. They have different coaching philosophies, strategies, drills. The best way is to learn from each other. And so if we never get together and professionally develop,
So every single athlete that graduates with PBA, we want them to play college baseball. If they're willing to, and if they want to, it's all about the recruiting and exposure and development with us.
Yeah, I think, you got to be careful expanding too fast too soon because of the quality that, we kind of want to keep. But I think goals are to expand. to a degree, but still making sure, like I said, making sure our teams are competitive and making sure we're, putting a good product out there for the guys. But really goals as far as within the program and the organization is just player development, really, is just get those guys, ready for whatever the next level is,
And it's different for every kid, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether you're youth, like the young guys, or even, the middle school age guys, like that I'm working with, getting them prepared for high school and obviously developing those high school kids for the next level.
Well, there's so much technology out there, but blast motion's a big one. All of our players get a blast motion sensor, so of course, all of our training, we ask them to have that on their bat, so while we're doing our training, we can look and see if their attack angle is right or whatever, and we set up a lot of our drills based on that. So, that we do weighted bat programs that we use, a radar gun, stuff like that, but getting exit velocities, all of that. It's all about data. It's all about metrics. That's what coaches at the next level want to see. What's your metrics and data look like? Because that's what they think.
Yeah. So we, a little bit with we have the blast motion sensors, which really kind of help with, just numbers and metrics and things, because every kid's different. I am a little bit old school in that sense that I have to work and be cognizant to let the data kind of help me drive stuff, because I have to be aware of that is a new thing. But so I think just that, those with the metrics and of course Rapsodo and all the things that we have, it's just.
Sure. So I love the data. I'm getting acclimated to it because it's never been a part of my coaching philosophy and or practice up until joining PBA, which was one of the things why I came over with Mike when he first presented it to us. And I love the blast motion sensor, being able to track and monitor and look at where my kids are at. That's just one tool. And then they have the exit velo, they have the pocket radars, and so you are right. Baseball is a data-driven game.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've seen throughout the recruiting process right now is it's very metrically driven. So, how hard you hit the ball, how hard you throw the ball, what's your 60 time, just stuff like that. So that's where a lot of our training is based out of. So we use blast motion. Not only should you have a good exit velocity, and that's all good and dandy and everything, but we want to make sure we have good swing mechanics with that good exit velocity. So blast motion is a really good tool that we use that helps with early connection, stuff like that. On plane efficiency, there's so much involved in blast motion, so we try to utilize it as best we can.
So we're simulating a change-up way, blowing outside. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to expose the hitters that leak out here. Okay, so we want to be here. Okay, stop our launch. Okay, and then if it's an off pitch, we fire from there. Okay, if we're going here and we're continuing to leak out, okay, that's going to expose guys and they're going to hit that right in the ground. They're going to chop at it. Okay, so just making sure that we get here, boom. Now if it's a changeup, if I don't throw it, now we hit that ball at the tee and we're still balanced and we're still good.
Yeah, so of course, as a person, we want them to be a well-rounded individual on and off the field. We want them to be respectful. We want them, we want to teach them things not just baseball related. So if you can succeed on the baseball field, hopefully we're also building your character enough so you can succeed off the baseball field. Of course, we want you to play college baseball, but to play college baseball, you got to have the grades. If you can't do that, then there's no reason, So,
Right.
so yeah, we're pretty good about making sure we develop character as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So, the biggest thing with culture, in my opinion, it starts from the top. So we hold coaches meetings. So once a month, every Wednesday, we get together as coaches and we brainstorm how can we get better. This is what we're doing on a certain practice. We have every coach fill out these practice forms. So everyone is on the same page and we're teaching the same stuff, as far as 8, 9U all the way to 18U. We want to make sure that we're drilling home, kind of that same stuff to start building. When they're an 8 and 9-year-old, by the time they're 14, 15, they know exactly what they should be doing as far as that PBA way is like what we say. So.
I think it starts from the top down, like with Matt and Mike and guys like us that understand it's holistic, it's big picture, it's not just about like, are we baseball dudes? Yeah, we are. But understanding from the top down that they are people, they are kids, and they have more things involved than just the 2-hour practice here or wherever we're at. So I think once they realize that, like you talk about development, you talk about culture, once they realize that we do care about them and we understand the holistic, it helps, to me anyway, it helps those kids like work for you. It helps those kids kind of like bond with you, and they're not just like, oh, this coach needs me to, just throw 85 miles an hour. It's bigger than that. So once they realize that we care about them as a person, and we understand about, like you're saying, school and all those things that are involved, I think it's easier to connect, and you can get more out of it.
Yeah, so it's very important. My older boys, and I've backed off a little bit as they've gotten a little bit older, because we have to teach them. We can't spoon feed them all the way. Right. There has to be some responsibility. Let them fall, but don't let them hit rock bottom and help pick them up. So one of the things that I've always been a stickler on, every quarter my boys have to send me their grade cards, and I check their grade cards. My wife's in education too. I've had a couple of my boys that have struggled with some classes, so through resources we get them a tutor, and at practice they'll get the tutoring, and then they can join practice when they're academically ready to make sure that they don't slip. So very proud of my old boys.
Yeah, so today we're doing 3 sets of 15. It's fastball priority. So every single set's going to have 8 fastballs and then 7 off speed. The number one thing that we're focused on today is getting head and counts. So we're talking about when you first step up on the mound, 0-0 pitch, we're trying to get that first pitch fastball first strike.
You want to say at least 50%.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest part is just educating, obviously the player and the parent of what they need to be doing. So sending emails regularly, that's a big thing. We utilize Field Level, YouTube. Those are just some recruiting platforms that we use, and, getting as much video as we can. Because when I'm speaking to college coaches, the 2 biggest things they're going to ask me is, the metrics. They're going to look at the video. Then obviously they're going to look at academics. So we ask a lot of those questions, to each single parent and player to see what's most important to them. Some kids it's more so in the academic side. Some kids it's playing at the biggest school possible. Maybe it's school or class size. So there's a lot of different factors, but we try to uncover that for each athlete so we know exactly what they want and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's important to let parents know that that's part of for the older guys, the younger guys, maybe not so much, but for our older, teams and coaches and families, it's important to pass along that is a priority for us. Getting those guys to play at the next level is a priority. And Matt's done a good job. Mike's done a good job, and a couple of the guys that are working with that, and Kyle. But I think from at East, was a high school guy, I've noticed that colleges, in the last years, I'd even say, even since Justin's age, like college guys really listen to summer dudes, summer coaches and programs, and they talk to those coaches and they want to know, and they see those guys because that's kind of their college prime time to go watch guys play is during the summer. So they're a little bit more connected. When college guys call us at the high school level, they're more interested in like, how is he as a kid? How is he as a student? Like those things. So the recruiting process is huge. I always say there's always a place to play. Baseball has got different levels high, like you're saying, big end D1 kids, and different levels. So I don't know. I think it's huge. I think the recruiting process is huge, and letting parents know that we value it is part of, and it is kind of a hot commodity with parents, or what can you do for me? Parents looking to shop around in different clubs, like, how can you help my son? So
it's true, isn't it?
It is.
It is true.
So you got to kind of keep up, and but at the same time, I think it's important to be realistic, because sometimes
being honest, really, in that respect,
is important,
I agree.
and sometimes it's tough to hear, but there's a place to play for a lot of kids that want to work hard and get after it a little bit. So
absolutely, I've been through the process. I went to St. Louis Community College for a couple of years. Then I went to Murray State, and then I ended up going back to Lindenwood for my last year. So, I've played at, JUCO, Division I, Division II, and, I've seen that process, seen the different type of athletes, seeing what it takes. Coming back through the process, it's definitely changed a little bit. Yeah. Since I went through it, it's, like I said, more metrically driven than anything. But that's just, what works at the next level.
Sure.
If a guy can throw, hit a ball 100 miles per hour off a tee or off, front toss, whatever it may be, that's going to translate more to the next level, so.
So we currently practice twice a week, 2 hours at a time. So they practice 4 hours a week. And the training that you'll see today, that's our PBA training. So at all of our ages, we have PBA trainers that go around and do instruction with all of our ages. So once a week, it's kind of ran by PBA instructors, and then the other practice is ran by their coaches. Not that we don't love our coaches and think they do a great job as it is, but we want to get our PBA instructors involved, kind of just to teach that core values that we're looking for in our organization. So you'll see that today. They'll divide them up, different groups. They'll do some hitting, fielding, some catching, all kinds of, but they divide them up in groups. They'll go through all kinds of drills to work on, and they'll be using the technology that we talked about. And then during the week when the coaches are with them, the coaches are here as well. So it's a way for coaches to kind of learn these drills and implement them throughout the week as well. So we feel it's important to build that common, at least, base of fundamentals that we want all of our teams to be able to use. So
very good, very good. Hey, Mike Buda, Premier Baseball Academy. Mike, thanks, man. Appreciate you letting us stick the cameras in your guys' faces today.
Absolutely, I appreciate you guys having or being a part of us and supporting us. So
outstanding.